when U.S. President Donald Trump threatened military intervention in Nigeria to stop the alleged killing of Christians by terrorists in the north of the country, the Nigerian government vehemently rejected the U.S. president's characterization of the country's security challenges along religious lines. After a high-level meeting by officials of both countries, a deal was struck on improved security coordination between both countries. That deal resulted in a U.S. airstrike on militant targets in the northwest Sokoto state in December, in cooperation with the Nigerian government. The U.S. followed that up with providing Nigeria with more security equipment in its war against the militants. And in a move to bolster U.S. support for its fight against terrorism, the Nigerian government has hired a Washington-based lobbying firm to defend the country's international reputation and constantly brief the U.S. government on its security efforts. The contract, valued at $4.5 million for an initial period of 6 months, is a big talking point in the country.
If you see the extreme narrative coming from the U.S., it which shows that a lot of people have been doing the lobbying and trying to push a narrative of Christian genocide and all manner of insecurity within the country. Now, if you let that get ahead of you, what then happens is that it affects investors' confidence, public morale, as well as diplomatic relations. And you don't want that, especially when you're at the time you're doing reforms, you are trying to rejig the economy, and you're trying to also get investors to come in. Now, if all these narratives get ahead of you, and you no longer can control it, then it becomes a problem. So it was very important that Nigeria began to look at, okay, how do we begin to have our own counter narrative to say this is what exactly is going on within the country.
The Nigerian government has not disclosed much about the deal and the process through which the contract was awarded to a U.S. Republican-linked PR firm. But some PR experts argue that the deal is appropriate, adding that Nigeria's effort to tackle insecurity are often misunderstood internationally, and that managing the global narrative is an essential part of the wider security strategy.
I'm seeing a shift. You and I can understand that there's been some level of shift in the narrative from the initial position of, oh, Christians are being killed, to, oh, okay, Muslims and Christians are being killed. And this is the general problem within the northern part of Nigeria. So that engagement is going on at that level. Then the other thing, whether due process was being followed. I think transparency is quite important, and how they've gone about it, if they've gone about it within the ambit of procedures and the law to engage this firm, or is it like it remains within the powers of the executive to say, it's part of my function, I can go on and do this. Whatever the case is, so long as they're carrying Nigerians along, to say this is what we're doing and this is how we're going about doing it, I think all of us will be fine.
Security analysts say the decision to engage a lobbyist is not really a bad idea, adding that international advocacy must be matched with stronger action at home.
This year's budget is the largest ever since Nigeria. So that also shows you that government is concerned and they're allocating money in the defense and security subsector, even though we have some challenges in fully backing those budget appropriation. So we use multidimensional approaches to achieve results. While they are deploying lobbying, they're also fighting. And you agree with me that Nigerian forces, since the threat from Trump and the collaboration, we have been making huge successes.
Indeed, the narrative is shifting gradually. The U.S. appears to have also toned down on its initial tough rhetoric. On its part, the Nigerian government has scaled up its military operations against terrorists, especially in the north of the country, recording series of gains in recent times. But the January attack on 2 churches in those remote communities in Kaduna State is a clear indication that authorities still have to do more to stop the militants and their tracks. DG Badimosi, CGTN, Lagos, Nigeria.